A, B. Okay. Oh, no, our C answer is wrong.
For which one?
The C one, so it's not A.
Yeah, it could be B.
Okay,
Then
B.
that's where I was kind of hemming and hawing because I really
Uh-huh.
didn't like either of them. Like unimodal means there's just one peak. I guess they're considering this over here on the left a peak. I don't know. I mean, to me, it
Okay.
should be taller.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because that's what I was getting thrown out by this question. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
I mean,
so
and so they're pretty quick. So like this is where maybe if you wanted to share your screen, you could try the next grouping and I could just verbally correct if I see any issues. Um,
okay,
but it is a little bit of a back and forth with Alex. It's not as clean as say just sending over everything ahead of time
yeah.
to work on.
So I'm just gonna. I mean, it is hard, so I wouldn't be able to like actually like send you like certain like.
No, so like the because they even change. Like if you log out of your Alex, then it then changes. So like some students have like a review or written homework, or you can
Mhm.
see all the problems, and that's where they send them over ahead of time. But this is going to be a back and forth for
Back
the
and
most
forth.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, if you want to share your screen again, I'm happy to look at some more
Oh, yeah.
questions.
Um. Sorry, I thought I was doing that.
Yeah, you'll get there. So in this case, if you want to, you could try to answer these questions,
Yeah.
and I can correct them if I see any mistakes or issues or things that concern me with it.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'm just trying to look up the because I wrote down like the meaning of them, I guess, and I can't.
Okay, let's talk here. Skewed to the left the most. That means it's going to have a left tail. A
Okay.
left tail. Does that
So
look?
like the C like
Yes, exactly.
okay,
Exactly.
and
And
then
then symmetric, like imagine drawing a line right down the middle. It's going to be the same on the left and the right.
so B I would assume because
Yeah,
it's
B looks good to me. Bimodal means two peaks, two mountaintops, if you will.
okay. So a few peaks. So it's not so okay. So I'm assuming A because I see all those
Yes,
okay
yes,
peaks going
absolutely.
up, and then the bow shape, of course, would be B.
Yes, good. Okay, perfect.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna go to the next. It's gonna
Yep,
bring up a different
right.
thing.
Yep. Alex is really good about actually giving you a good like an explanation here. You're going to see here,
Mhm.
like, well, I don't know, this didn't go right to the one, but
Well, we could do it like yeah, because I've been on it for a while. But if I would go like onto like the
yeah,
yeah, like yeah, it explains it, and then I get a little thrown off. Yeah.
I think it's pretty, it's just a lot. I mean, it's a lot for a student to try to like make sense of that, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah. So if you want to, if you want to go back, we can look at another question here.
Sure thing.
All right. So let me grab a snip here. So one thing that would help me here is the next time you share is to just share the browser with the Alex in it. It'll just kind of tighten up the window because I'm seeing the entire screen right now, and
Oh, okay.
it'll just help me. It's not a big deal, but it does help. All right. North side wants to estimate the number of students who drive to school. Answer the following. So they're talking about populations and samples. So the population is well, why is it written this way? Which following surveys probably would represent the entire student population. Okay, so you're trying to say like what's the best way to figure out all the high school students? You don't want to be too specific. You don't want to be too narrow. So like students from 10th grade, that's pretty narrow. Science club is narrow. If it's from the school, that's a good choice.
Okay.
That's not very very
Specific.
big.
Okay.
Yeah, or that's not very specific. That's good. There are 1,350 students. Using answer part A, estimate the number of students who drive to school. So we know that there's 15 out of 50 that drive. And so we want to get to 1350. So the short of it is you figure out how do you go from 50 to 1350, which is you can just divide those numbers. We're solving for x basically, and then multiply that on the top as well. There is another way you can solve this proportion, but you're basically just trying to figure out how to get to 1350 from 50.
So I would
Now,
basically divide like the 13 like in the calculator. I would just do like
exactly. Now, this is where I have to ask you, are the tests proctored? Do you know anything about that yet?
I do have like a midterm review due tomorrow. So I haven't even like touched the test part yet. I
Okay.
just stuck
So the
on
reason
that.
I'm asking is because you want to use their calculator if you can to get familiar with it, because the tests generally use lockdown browser and you can't like use your own handheld
Yeah.
calculator. And you don't want to get to the test and be like, oh, I don't know how to use theirs. So there's a lot of other ways to solve these problems if you don't have the calculator. Um,
Okay.
that one
I
I
do
will
like I
use.
do have a question too. Like sometimes like with this calculators on the Alex, like when I do it on like my phone, I do get like completely different answers. So
Right.
maybe I can
So
stick.
I would recommend not using your phone. Your phone is great for a phone, but it's not a good calculator. Try to use the one that they provide as much as possible, because you're going to have to use it on the test. Now, if you really object to that, and I would understand, like I don't like the tools that they give you. The one that I suggest to students to use is, and I'll drop it in the chat here. It's a
Okay.
Desmos Scientific Calculator. What the nice thing about it is you enter things the way you write them. You write them like this, and it gives you the same sort of format. So
Okay.
having said all that, 1350 divided by 50 is 27. So you're gonna multiply 15 by 27. That ends up being 405 students.
And then you times it by 15. Okay, I'm just writing this down. So
Sure. And again, you're gonna get all this at the end. So
okay,
if you miss anything, no big deal.
sounds good. That was actually much easier the way you explained it than going through like all of that reading.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. So there's not really any shortcuts here. You just have to know your stuff. Unfortunately, no
Mhm.
quick things, but I'll try to. That's why I like to snip, because then I can give you some explanation rather than just saying, right or wrong. Um,
I would say B for this one because it's
oh,
not.
you are not currently sharing your screen. Sorry.
I'm
So
so
yeah, you'll have to,
how would I do it? Like how like you're saying, do I just like
the,
separate
gr-
the
the
screen?
green new share button, when you hit new share, it'll prompt you for what you want to share. And on the left, uh,
Like
you'll see the
the
entire,
tab or the windows?
well, it'll say screen one, and that's like your entire screen, or it'll give you like the application. Let me try
Yeah,
to
because it's only giving me like this one screen right here.
let me
Okay, go ahead.
try to explain here. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. And that's why I do the try it out, because there's a little learning curve here to using Zoom. So if
Yeah,
you
that
look
makes,
if you look in the chat there,
uh-huh.
I grab this snip. Like when I hit new share, if I choose screen one, which is in the top left, that's my whole screen. I generally don't do that.
Okay,
You'll see a bunch of other options uh, on your screen. And
okay,
I'm suggesting to only pick like the Chrome, or if you're using Safari, just the application.
okay. Hold on, my
If that's not clear, just keep doing what you're doing. We'll
okay,
we'll get
for
it
sure.
eventually.
Yeah. Just seeing what your chat is. Okay, okay. So I see. So just Chrome. Does I don't know if this works.
I'm still not seeing your screen, so you're gonna have to click on new share and then click on whatever you want to share. There it is. Now you got it. So this time I am seeing your whole screen, which is fine.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm so sorry.
That's what. Yeah. No. That. Yeah. That's why I do it. It's
Yeah,
like you're right. Yeah.
I just leave
You're
it. right now.
This will be fine.
Okay.
But I am seeing your whole screen. So if you don't want me to see anything, that's part of it.
No,
So let's look at that window on the right with everything there. All right. So by this time it says which of the following surveys would represent an entire population of seniors? So the first option says 20 seniors. That's sounding pretty good. The second option is not good because 20 student council members, we don't know whether they're seniors or not. And the last one, honor roll students, that's not necessarily, I mean, they are seniors, but they don't represent all the seniors. They're very specific in that group. So option A appears to be the best one.
okay. Hold on.
So
And
to do,
it's actually
go
what
ahead.
you're saying, because it does say like the honors, it is specific.
Yeah, so the best way to sample is to do it randomly. They don't really tell you how to do that, but that is important. So in part A, 14 out of 20 is like your proportion, and then you're increasing that to, well, what happens if you have 600 seniors? So it's basically the same steps as before. I'm happy to snip and show this again if you would like.
I'm kind of breaking it down like how you showed me. So,
Okay,
I mean, I
I've
could.
got
Yeah.
I've got the answer. So whenever you feel like you've got it, we can keep going.
Okay, for sure. So, so I believe 420.
That is correct.
Okay, yay, that's good. I was
All right,
struggling.
nicely done.
Okay, so two. Do I need to share my screen again with you, or
Yeah, whenever, yeah. Let me actually, you are sharing
Oh,
currently, so
you
yeah,
can see
we can look. Yes. Okay.
everything.
This is the same type of question here, so if you want to try answering it, I'll check here. Um,
It would say A for this one because more, no, because a mile from a park.
but that sounds good. Maybe you're a dog owner, you're a little biased by that.
Uh,
Let's see here. Um, you don't care how close they live to a dog park. That's very specific. You're always looking for the one that's just randomly selected from the, like in this case, the town.
okay, like B.
Yeah. Um,
7.
because you would presume more people own dogs near a dog park.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems reasonable to me. So for the next one, go ahead and give that calculation a try.
Okay. Hmm. Hold on, hold on. So 242.
All right, so it's 7 out of 25 is the kind of the baseline, and then you're multiplying it by
Oh,
550.
I did 11. Yeah, I'm sorry, I looked
Yeah.
wrong. 7 divided by 25.
Yes, because in there it says, 7 own a dog out of the 25 that are in that little grouping there.
Did I do it wrong?
Times 550.
Times, oh, 140, 154.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
So that's where I get a little thrown off once I see like the like 0 point something. That's I'm like, oh my gosh, did I
Oh
do
yeah, I see. Yeah, no, that's to be expected because it's a number between 0 and 1.
it?
So all right, there it is. Good job.
Alright,
So, yeah, so typically like when you hit next and go to a new topic,
cool.
I usually share my screen and show a couple of calculations. If you want to click on next there. Oh boy. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead and click on start. Yeah, there's a lot of explanation here. You did that. All right, so grab a snip of this. I mean, these are tough probably because the more it's just there's so many words and things to consider when you're looking through them. But I'll do my best to simplify the explanation here. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Okay.
All right. Consultant wants to ask workers at a factory about the workers' job satisfaction. Which of the following best describes a random sample of workers? Okay, so um, we're looking for something that is truly random, um, and this it's easier for me to give you the answer than to try to have you work through it. But the answer is consultant assigns each worker a different number using a random number table. He draws 90 of those numbers at random. Then the consultant selects the workers assigned to the drawn numbers. Every set of 90 workers is equal likely. That's the key there. A random sample means that everyone is equally likely to be
Oh,
chosen.
okay.
Okay, now I don't think it's going to say that in all of them, but that is kind of a nice
Like a hint to look for.
yes. Okay. So the second one actually does say the same thing. Every set of 54 seats is equally likely to be chosen. So that's another kind of giveaway.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just looking at the last one. Manager key selects the employees at random. Employees based on the departments the employees are in. So the last one, I'm sorry, sir. Whoa, I messed up here.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention. These Alex problems are really good. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. They're
Um,
hard.
well, you actually gotta read them. And I don't read a lot of these because I've been doing this for so long. I know where to kind of go to
Like what
first,
to
the
look for.
first, yeah, and it's a strategy you can learn, but you don't need that. Um, the first one is correct.
Okay.
For random sample, you want equally likely. For cluster, you want um like like think of a cluster being like kind of grouped together. And so that what's more important there is that uh you choose all, like you divide it up into a group and then choose all of them. So
Oh,
the correct answer for the second one is B here for a cluster.
so it's like you just putting
It
them all together.
Yeah, it's like you cut it up into certain number groups, then you get them all.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
Stratified is every like nth person,
I'm sorry. What? It's every what?
like nth person, so like every sixth person, seventh person, eighth person, and that would be the last one here. There are others. Convenience sampling.
Mm-hmm.
There's I don't know. There's a lot of other ones.
Yeah. No.
So
Well, I mean,
uh,
it's a little
yeah,
different.
sure. So if you want to share your screen, maybe look at one more question here before closing out, maybe two. We'll see how quickly we can do them.
This we got the C answer wrong on the.
Really, it says stratified though. Uh, let me double check here. Uh, no, I'm sorry. That's stratified. Okay, sorry. So stratified is the first one. Sorry, I'm thinking of what is the other type of sampling? So there's a bunch of these types of sampling. Systematic. Sorry, the last one is called systematic.
Systematic.
When it's every nth, that's systematic. Stratified is when you divide it into a group. It's kind of like clustering, but then you choose randomly between each group.
So it would be B.
It'd be A. No, A. So stratified is when you divide up into the groups. So it says there's 7 groups, but then you select within the group randomly, within each group randomly. Systematic is every nth person.
There we go.
There it is. It is. All right, let's look at probably these. Let's see if there's any overlap here. All right, so cluster sampling is when you divide into group, okay, but then you sample all of them in that one group. Cluster sample. Group of 8 attendees based on the day. None of the first seem like they're cluster sampling.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe the C because it says organizers randomly. So like you like
So
so they
that
actually. Oh.
I'm gonna say it's not C because that is like a random sample, simple random sample. Part
Okay.
A is the group,
Okay.
but then she organizes randomly, choose 9 groups, and then selects all in these groups. I think it's A. I guess if you're asking me, I think it's A.
A.
But that's the problem here. So systematic is where you divide into groups and then you randomly select from each group. So group, then can select all of the students and 5, form 2 groups, then can select 25. Yeah, so letter A, part A, sorry, first option and B, they form 2 groups, but then they select randomly from each group. That's no,
So
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of stratified. Systematic is when you choose every nth student. So that's the third option there, every 5th student.
okay. Wow, there's like many different.
Yeah. And okay, now C is convenient sample. That's where you just do the ones that are like easily accessible. So that's the middle option there for C. See how it says easily accessible? That's convenience. All right. Hey, we unfortunately do have to stop here for today here. Let me jump in here real quick though. I'm just going to stop the recording.